Tales of Arise tells the story of two planets, Dana and Rena, and for 300 years the Renans have enslaved Danans, splitting the land into 5 distinct regions, each ruled by a Renan lord looking to become the next ruler of Rena by extracting astral energy from Dana. But at the start of this story, this begins to change, with the meeting of our two protagonists, Alfin, a Danan who can't feel pain on top of losing his memories over a year ago, and Xian, a Renan whose curse hurts anyone who touches her. They meet when Alfin is working on the train, and in the spur of the moment he decides to help her, eventually escaping to a hideout of the Crimson Crows, a Danan resistance group that wishes to free Calaglia. But before they get comfortable, the Renans track them down, leading to a situation where Alfin wields the blazing sword from Xian's Master Core, a device that holds massive astral energy, and from this point onwards these two decide to work together, with Xian wanting to defeat all 5 of the lords taking their Master Cores, and Alfin wishing to free Dana from its Renan oppressors. Eventually these two and the Crimson Crows leader Zephyr catch up with the group in Uzbek, so with the additional firepower of Xian's blazing sword and Alfin being the only one who can use it, they decide it's time to take down the Lord of Calaglia, Balsef, with the Crimson Crows making a distraction for the soldiers so our two protagonists can take him on themselves. And after a very tough battle, they take Balsef down and they take the energy he's collected to destroy the wall separating Calaglia and Cyslodia. But our heroes don't have much time to rest, because words of them liberating Calaglia have spread to other regions, and the Silver Swords of Cyslodia have sent their messenger Rinwell to request help. So to continue moving towards their goal, Alfin, Xian, and Zephyr join Rinwell to journey to Cyslodia. But before they make it to the capital Cysloden, they run into the Snake Eyes, the private police force of Lord Ganabelt. But unfortunately for our group, Zephyr's son Law is a member of the Snake Eyes and begins to beat on his father, but is stopped by Ringwell, who reveals that she is a Danan mage and possibly the last one left. But after his son is subdued, Zephyr gives himself up, and for the rest of them they have to regroup. So the 3 left behind continue their journey towards the city, encountering strong enemies, and see a strong mysterious man slaying Zurgles with a single stroke of his sword. But eventually Rinwell leads them to Cyslodia, where they meet the Silver Swords and their leader Menik. After initial introductions, they begin looking for information on Zephyr's whereabouts, and while doing their detective work they find out from Law that Zephyr will be executed in a few days. But unfortunately for our heroes, they aren't actually able to make any plans because the Silver Sword hideout is attacked by the Snake Eyes and the execution has been moved up. So this forces our group and Law to rush to the plaza to save Zephyr, but unfortunately in all of this confusion he gets poisoned and passes away. So to get revenge and to make up for his mistakes, Law joins our group of Alfin, Xian, and Rinwell to defeat Ganabelt. And after another difficult fight, another lord is defeated and daylight is brought back to Cyslodia. Our heroes move on to Elde Menancia, with Rinwell wanting to leave due to her exposing her magical arts, and Law joining the team to take up the fight that his dad gave his life for, turning our duo into an actual group. As they approach the capital, Vincent, they begin to feel like something is off but can't put their fingers on it until they enter the city. The Danans here are treated like regular people here, with soldiers being nice to kids and being allowed to take days off if they don't feel good, but even so they're still slaves regardless of how they're treated. This system has been set up by Lord Dohalim, who invites our heroes to dinner by sending a message through Captain Kisara. He wishes for Alfin and his companions to leave this realm, considering that the Danans here aren't treated badly, telling them to leave in the morning. But Alfin and Law feel extremely tired after eating dinner, suspecting that the food at the palace may have been poisoned, and this is a warning. So the next morning our group is still feeling lost about what to do next, but Law notices a cat with an interesting collar, so they follow it, leading them to an underground passage where they're ambushed by Kisara due to a misunderstanding. The person who leads them all there is Migal, the brother of Kisara and the leader of the Gold Dust Cats. This group's goal is to maintain the peace that Dohalim brought in and to stop the flow of the fruit of Helgen. This fruit causes Danans to exert more astral energy than normal, and this makes their bodies go hollow, stripping it of all of its elements, leaving nothing behind but a metallic substance, and this fruit has been laced throughout the entire city's food supply, meaning that every Danan in Vicent will eventually hollow. So our heroes once again team up with a resistance group to bring peace back to one of Dana's regions. So as we follow Miguel's plan, our heroes, Kisara and Lord Dohalim, enter the deepest parts of the mines to figure out what he wants to show everyone. Miguel leads everyone to a giant pool of hollowing fluid, indicating that countless Danans have died under Dohalim's watch, even though it wasn't his doing. But Dohalim doesn't believe this, which forces Miguel to eat the fruit of Helgen to prove this, asking Dohalim to protect the peace he ushered in with his dying breath. And soon after, Kisara has a breakdown seeing her brother die, but unfortunately this scene brings back painful memories for Dohalim, causing him to have a violent mental breakdown, which our group plus Kisara manages to stop. So after coming back to reality, Dohalim admits that the only reason why he made Menancia peaceful is for his peace of mind, and then takes his leave. But our group doesn't get much rest, considering the Renans led by Kesalik are attempting to take power, but are quickly stopped due to the combined efforts of the Gold Dust Cats, the Danan guardsmen, and Renan supporters who all believe in coexistence with each other, and Alphen and company defeating Kesalik. So with Menancia in good hands and their similar goals aligning, Dohalim joins the party with Kisara not too far behind him. So we now have our full party and they make their way towards Mahag Saar, the 4th region of Dana. But as they journey towards the capital of the region, they're attacked by the mysterious man that they saw back in Cyslodia. And unfortunately for our characters, they cannot avoid him this time, and he attempts to kill Alphen and gives Xion a serious injury, only backing off after Alphen shows a power of a mysterious light. So our characters regroup, finally making it to Niez, and they come across a stranger sight than in Vicent, an entire city including the surrounding areas being destroyed with no people anywhere. So they explore the city to figure out what happened and find out that the group known as the Dark Wings defeated the Renan Lord and took the city back for themselves. But they revealed that they're still looking for the missing Lord because she escaped during a conversation that doesn't go so well. However, they're given information on where the Lord could be, and after searching that place to confirm that the Lord wasn't there, the tensions reach an all-time high between Alphen and Xion, resulting in her telling everyone her reason for taking down the Lords. She explains that she needs the Renus Alma, the strongest master core, to have a chance of lifting her curse, and everyone promises to help her. So shortly afterwards, they make their way back to Niez, where the Dark Wings have captured the Lord of their region, planning to burn her at the stake, but unfortunately for them, their food supply was laced with the fruit of Helgen, and they were all hollowed. So the Lord of this realm, Almadria, absorbs their astral energy, revealing her crest, triggering Rinwell because now she knows who killed her parents and the other mages. But her attack is stopped by Law, who believes that she shouldn't try to fight or get revenge in her current mental state. So Almadria takes advantage of the chaos by summoning a creature that our heroes take down, but during the battle the elusive Lord escapes to her underground port. So the group follows her and manages to find a Danan who will pilot a ship so they can catch up. They finally get to Almadria's ship and they defeat her, but before she can be punished for her crimes, she is slain by the mysterious man our heroes keep running into, and it turns out this man is Voron, the Lord of Ganath Haros. Alphen then attacks Voron, breaking his mask in the process, but unfortunately in the middle of this attack, Xion is kidnapped and Alphen's sense of pain returns as he tries to get her back. So Voron leaves with Xion, sinking the ship in the process. Afterwards, everyone washes up on the shore of Disselin, a village within Ganath Haros, and in this village, Alphen tells everyone about his past. He was a Danan that was kidnapped by the Renans to see if he could be the sovereign based upon the experiments that they did to him, leading him to perform the spear channeling ceremony with a girl named Nayori Imeris, who has a striking resemblance to Xion, and she was called the Maiden. But something goes wrong during the ceremony and it leaves Leganis, one of the two Renan planets, devastated. So after listening to Alphen's story, Dohalim guesses that Alphen Alphen is over 300 years old based on what Alphen has told them and knowing Renan history, but the group puts this mystery to the side so they can focus on saving Xion. So they make their way towards Pelagian, greeted by Valron's guards, telling our group that their lord is expecting them. So as they make their way through the city, they can see that Valron has made everyone so fearful of him that they're even willing to sacrifice their lives for him. But our heroes push through these disturbing sights only to find Xion in a trance-like state, with her thorns going out of control, attacking the rest of our party members. But soon after this scuffle starts, Alphen snaps her out of her trance and she rejoins the party, and gives Alphen the blazing sword once again, heading towards their confrontation with Valron. As they fight Valron, the crest of the Sovereign appears on him as well, leading to some confusion about how there can be two Sovereigns at the same time. Eventually, our heroes defeat Valron, taking his Master Core, and begin to make the Renis Alma, but nothing happens until a woman in red we've seen near all of the lords appear and reveals her Master Core of Darkness, creating the Renis Alma with all of the Master Cores now together, and seemingly awakening Xion's powers as the Maiden. But before something can happen, the red woman steals the Renis Alma, and then we get a 1-month time skip where the group has been helping restore Pelagian and its people. But soon as they feel like it's time to leave, a giant wedge sent down by Leganis wedges its way into Dana, sending a massive column of astral energy to Leganis. So our heroes go back to the underground pier and take a boat to the wedge to stop the device. But as they arrive, Rinwell hears a voice guiding her towards somewhere within the wedge. So everyone follows Rinwell until they come across a strong Zoogle who is siphoning the astral energy to Leganis. But after defeating the beast, the party is enveloped by the astral energy and they all hear a voice thanking them, coming to the conclusion that Dana itself was thanking them. And after talking things over, they believe that their next step is to take the fight to Leganis, so they search for the ship that Alphen came back to Dana on, eventually finding it in Calaglia. But as they rest for the night, Xion tries to sneak off by herself, but she gets caught, finally breaking down, explaining that her thorns make her immortal and that she's been getting visions about the thorns destroying everything upon her death. So she wanted to get the Renis Alma to take away her thorns, understanding that it would kill her. But nobody accepts that, with Dohalim believing that there may be a chance to get rid of Xion's thorns without killing her in the process. So they make their way to Leganis together. But as soon as they get there, they quickly find out that the Renans living there have no idea what's going on. So moving through the chaos, they look for the Forbidden Zone on Leganis that only the Sovereign may access. But along the way, they encounter Faria, a former friend of Dohalim who hates him for killing her fiance. So after letting her vent her frustrations, our party moves on. But after their encounter, the red woman finds Faria, leading her to attack the party as they're exploring the Forbidden Zone, as they get visions of Alphen and Naori's past. But after conquering that challenge, they go deeper into the Forbidden Zone, putting all of the puzzle pieces together. The Sovereign was a term only used to describe the successful test subjects like Alphen and Valron, who could, with the help of a maiden, do a ceremony that transfers all of the Danan astral energy to Rena. But when Alphen and Naori performed the ceremony 300 years ago, something went wrong in the ceremony and the dark astral energy of Rena appeared, causing the ceremony to go haywire. So Naori trapped the thorns within herself, even though she understood that this burden would be passed down to her descendants, and afterwards she put the mask on Alphen to keep his mind intact, but as a side effect it would give him nerve damage, which would explain him not being able to feel pain earlier in the game. And she put him in a Renan healing pod on a starship that would take a long time to heal him. But after getting these revelations, Alphen and Xion get new outfits that amplify their Sovereign and Maiden powers respectively, but they have to find the Renis Alma because they now believe that that is the key to getting rid of Xion's thorns, eventually finding Valron hooked up to a machine, forcing him to perform the spirit channeling ceremony. But after getting into a fight with 3 of the Red Women, the ceremony goes wrong again, and it seems like that's the end of Valron. So as they leave the Forbidden Zone, they see that Leganis has lost power while they were in the Forbidden Zone, so the responsibility to calm down the citizens falls to Dohalim, since he is the highest ranking person on Leganis at the moment. But after this, Faria forgives Dohalim for what happened to her fiance after finding out the truth. So our heroes make their way back to the starship so they can make their way to their last destination, Rena. but the planet of Rena has transformed into a flower, now taking the astral energy from Dana directly. And soon afterwards, our group is ambushed by a group of red women who teleport them off course and shut down the ship. But as they drift along in space, they're pulled closer to a space station where they meet Hevric 35, an alien who explains that the red woman is a disguise that his people use, and that the astral energy of Rena is called the Great Spirit, which has a will of its own and wants to consume all of the astral energy it can. So Hevric 35 asks our party to destroy the Great Spirit to free his people and to get revenge for him. So as they explore the ship, they find out that the Renans are just genetically modified Danans, which would explain why every Renan can use astral arts but most Danans can't. So after getting this revelation and a couple of others, they steel their resolve to defeat the Great Spirit. So after they talk to Hevric 35 once more to make a plan so they can defeat the Great Spirit while allowing Xion to live, he repairs their ship so they can get to Rena. So as they fight their way to the core of Rena, they figure out that the Great Spirit is doing everything out of an instinctual fear of dying, finding out that Dana and Rena were originally supposed to be one planet, and that a little piece of Dana's spirit lives within each of them, meaning that it might be possible to ask Dana itself for help, leaving our heroes at a crossroads about what to do and what could have been if the planets had formed correctly. But finally they make their way to the core of Rena and they defeat the Great Spirit, but before Alphen and Xion can trap the Great Spirit within the Rena's armor, they're interrupted by Voron. So Xion traps the Great Spirit within herself while Alphen fights Voron. But eventually Alphen defeats him for the final time, but in the process Voron takes the Rena's armors with him when he destroys himself. So thinking back to what Rinwell said earlier, Alphen asks for help from the Great Spirit of Dana to save Xion and Rena itself, and it does this by purging the astral energy from Xion and fusing with Rena to make a complete planet, allowing Xion to live a life free of her curse with her beloved friends. But with that being said, if you want to see more videos like this one or analysis videos like I'm going to be doing on Tales of Arise very soon, like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one, and check out my TikTok if you want a recommendation about which Tales game to play next. But with all of that being said, it's been your boy Skipx and I'm out.